I'm creating this abundant space, meaning, everyone is included in this process of expressing yourself, of testimony, of storytelling, and really going back to how dance and praise was such a connection to spirit. I knew dance was something I wanted to pursue when I started dancing in church. And it was the first time that I realized that my movement and my connection to musicality could touch, move, and inspire other people. I believe, when I was 13 years old, and after I would perform, a lot of people would come to me and tell me how I inspired them or what it gave them access to. And I was like, yo, I'm onto something, because it was something that I loved to do and that came so natural to me. It was a joy. Even though I started dancing, I would say professionally around 13, I was always moving. Like, they used to cheer me on at my cul-de-sac, like, go Kiki. Nobody can call me Kiki now, but they used to say, I was always moving and I was always enrolling other people to move too. When I first started praise dancing at church, I thought that that was the only way praise dance could show up. And then I moved to New York and I started to explore different kind of choreography. I started to explore twerk dance. I started to explore different kind of music. And I realized, wow, I've always been praise dancing. Here I am, being in gratitude for this body. Here I am being in gratitude for my journey and my testimony and the relationships that I've created with myself and other people along the way. And it really shifted how I saw praise. Even my conversation with my friends, I am the cheerleader. I am praising you. I see what you've done. I see the work that you've done. I'm going to let you know what I see. And I didn't realize that praise is who I am. It's really a part of who I am. And anybody who shared space with me, they're going to leave with a little praise. And it's very important to me. So I just took on the name praise practitioner because I'm always practicing it. I started with Abundance with Keomi. Abundance with Keomi is an organization that provides resources that supports with self-healing, self-awareness, self-esteem, and self-expression, giving us room to know who we are, tapping into our capabilities, and then trusting our journey and our voice enough to express it, to share. And performance is really important to me. There's something about having a story or a vision or mission that I want to share and putting it on a stage and seeing it come to life, and also creating space for other people to do that. I started with dance classes and workshops and really creating space for people to see what happens when you explore and let go and get into your body, and getting out of what it looks like and what we think, but how do I feel? How does this music connect to me? What does it make me want to do? And starting from there. So I realized abundance, and to give you a little backstory, I realized how much I was living in scarcity, always fearful of what could go wrong, always in the past of what has happened and not giving a lot of room of, what gets to show up moving forward. And when I really broke down abundance, I knew that it was going to save my life. I knew that it was going to give me access to so many things, not tangibly, but within myself, within my process, within possibility. And I wanted to create space for other people to tap into that as well. So my sessions are always no judgment, no judgment zone. Let's see what comes up when we explore, when we're safe, when we're vulnerable, and we're focused on gratitude for the body, not getting it right, not getting it perfect. It's not about technique. It's about who do I become and what do I have access to when I'm in these spaces. So they started with dance classes, turned into workshops. Abundant Praise is a interfaith praise ministry that uses praise as a vehicle to connection and gratitude through storytelling, through testimony, and through artistic expression. When I grew up doing praise dance, it was focused on always encouragement, always the lightness, but I want to talk about the dark. I want to talk about the things that we go through that we don't talk about to anyone, or the things that we might have shame around. I want to talk about depression. I want to talk about, um, connections or friendships or relationships that we no longer have, and having to pick up the pieces after, so abundance, it involves all of it, the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, because it's life. And I want people to be able to really see themselves in this practice. Dance has supported me with getting out of my head. I can overanalyze. I'm an only child, so like a lot of my conversations have been me and me. And there is something about dancing that takes my power out of ration and thinking about it, and what can show up when I trust myself and tap into my feelings and my intuition. I think me dancing has always showed me so much more of what I'm capable of, what I have access to, how I can move people, more than just like my thoughts and my process and trying to get it perfect and trying to get it right. I would say it has taught me that dancing and movement is universal. It's not for the young, it's not for the old, it's for the free. And dance has been an opportunity for me to connect with other people in ways I don't know if I would have if I wasn't dancing. So my plans for 2023, especially with Abundant Praise, is creating this safe space, no matter how you identify, no matter who you call God or your creator. I am creating a space for people to be able to coexist and co-create, and share and perform. So I'm creating this abundant space, meaning, everyone is included in this process of expressing yourself, of testimony, of storytelling, and really going back to how dance and praise was such a connection to spirit, connection to ancestors, outside of it being pretty. When I think about sometimes with white supremacy, it's like it has to be this way. It can't, there's no room for it to just exist outside of ration or before. But what happens when we allow ourselves to just be, and to tell not only our story but our ancestors' stories? Like, they're part of the process anyway, whether we know it or not. They're in our blood. They're part of what our family taught us. So it's also our way of giving back and being in gratitude for this process. So definitely performances, definitely touring around the world. I also want to create workshops so I can support people with how do they add more emotion and more testimony and storytelling to their movement, to their dance. Also, I'm doing a project called Black Girl Bloom. Black Girl Bloom is a space where Black girls and women get to tell their stories and talk about, what their Black girl experience is, because they're not just one. There's so many different ways and different ways that we, even as Black women, are different, have different experiences, have different beliefs. So I am creating a space where I want Black women and Black girls to get paid for telling their stories, and to create workshops where we learn together, because the youth have so much information and they are the way. So I think if we create a space for us to share our art together and build on it, it's going to take over. So yes, and also for 2023, rest, joy. I want days I don't do nothing. I am not only here to produce, I am not only here to work. I am a vessel, and vessels need rest, and vessels need pampering, and vessels deserve to be taken care of. So 2023 is about balance for me. And 2023 is about balance for me.